Hello, YouTube. Today is Friday, August 16th, 2019. I'm giving you the date so you can see how timely this video is or isn't. I don't know when it's going to run. I'm hoping that I can run it tomorrow, if not tonight, probably tomorrow. So you can see what's going on. It is Friday. I just got off work and wanted to give you guys an update. Yeah. A lot can happen in a day or two, or three, or four. On Tuesday earlier this week, I was pulled aside before I left work and told by the staff there that they ended up hiring somebody else for the position. You know, because I had put in for this job. What had happened? Let me try to get things in order here so you understand what's going on. I work for a temp agency, and the temp agency sends me out to different places. And this particular job that I'm at right now is at a space agency, okay? And it's actually kind of far away from where I'm currently staying and where my family lives. But I decided to take this job because the temp agency told me that this position could potentially lead to a full-time position, a real job. Even though I don't really make much money, you know, because they don't pay that much for the temp, and it's not even a full 8 hours. It's roughly between 4.5 to 6 hours a day is what the schedule's been. So between the commute and the low pay, I'm really not making much at all. Matter of fact, I don't really make anything for this job. The money's going to paying for the lot rental to park the RV and child support and gasoline to go back and put to work. So I'm essentially earning nothing. But the YouTube earnings and donations and stuff that people have been sending is what I've been living off. And Patreon is paying for like the new phone that you're watching me film myself on right now. Well, didn't know how long this job would last, but estimate was that, you know, they were going to try to hire me as soon as they could, and it just didn't happen. But then what happened was the company people came up to me and said, you know, they had a job opening, and I should apply for it. And the job wasn't exactly the same as the job that I'm doing, but I looked at the specifications on it, and it required like security clearance and stuff like that, which I figured would be a problem for me, because of all the craziness that just happened to me, you know, with the divorce and everything else that ensued afterwards, including like my credit rating and everything's all shot. When you need to get a security clearance, they look at everything. They even go all the way back to your childhood. Okay, so even though I had a clearance before, I figured it was impossible for me to get one now. But several of the employees, the staff that worked there at the space agency, kept coming up to me to say, you should put in an application anyways. You never really know what's going to happen, so it's worth the shot. Because I had to explain to them, like, you know, my situation's like really, really bad. It's messed up. It is. And it's wrong. It's not even correct stuff. It's bad stuff, but it's wrong. Well, anyhow, they said to go ahead and put in the application, so I did. And sure enough, I went to the interviews, went through several stages of interviews. And, you know, they like me. Well, they've known me for 3 months. You know, I've been working there for 3 months. So I felt pretty confident that I was going to get the job, except for the issue with security, which, you know, was hovering over my head. And sure enough, they didn't hire me. They went with somebody else. They said somebody more qualified. But I suspect the qualification was they could get a clearance and I couldn't. And, you know, a lot of the jobs around this area, I am on what's known as the Space Coast. We deal with spaceships and stuff over here. You know, we're on the Kennedy Space Center in this whole area here on the east coast of Florida. And So a lot of the jobs with like even software development and things like that around here, they generally are for either the military or the space program. And either one, you need pretty much to be able to get clearance, security clearance, different levels. Even the contractors, let's say it's not even the military or NASA or whatever, but it's like Harris or any of the other companies around here that deal with as government contractors, you still have to have clearance or you cannot get the job. So those are the kind of jobs that I could potentially do, and they would actually get me out of my homelessness, my situation here where I can't even earn, I'm not even earning like minimum wage. I could get into, it's crazy. I qualify for jobs that pay way, way more than minimum wage. But because of the circumstance and the situation, I couldn't get into those jobs. Well, this particular job, even though it's, as a cleaner, I really wanted because it was an opportunity to be involved with the space program. Yeah, can you imagine that? Going through everything that I've gone through with a messed up divorce and now this crazy crap all over the internet about me that's not even right. And pretty much 10 or 11 years of suffering here at the mercy of the system. And what's ensued and all the hate and stuff that people throw, even though they don't even know me or the full story or even the truth. But I kind of really wanted this job because it would be a chance to reset my life. Because if they gave me the clearance, it means that I'm clean again. The society might not see me as clean, but the government would. And that would mean that I'm actually capable of getting the decent jobs, as a software developer or something for the government or whatever, and get myself back in. But the thing is, the job itself was different than what I was doing in the sense that it required really high-level access. And not only that, it would have required me to kind of do something kind of dangerous for me because, I'm with a space agency, so we're dealing with spaceships. And spaceships, rockets and stuff like that, they tend to be very tall. And if you've ever seen me discuss driving white knuckle and the causeways and how high they are, yeah, rockets are very tall and you have to go up very high. Now, I wouldn't be directly working on the rockets, but I'd be working on the rooms, cleaning and all this stuff. But it would mean going way up into the sky. Going up very high up. We're not talking like a little bit of height. We're talking pretty high because it's spaceship size, potentially. So that was kind of an issue for me. I did make them aware that I am afraid of heights during the interview. But the other thing for me, but I didn't tell them that, was, I don't know if you guys recall when I was at Walmart, I actually fell. I fell from the stairs climbing when I was in the freezer dealing with the fruits, or the vegetables, trying to pull them out. I lost my balance and fell because I've been having the issues of going numb. Remember me going to the VA all this time. They're still trying to figure out what's causing me to go numb. Like I get paralyzed almost. I go numb. Then I wake up and I'm paralyzed. So they haven't been able to figure that out. But long story short, I was willing to take this job even though it would have meant confronting my fear of heights. And I let them know, I would be willing to do that. Just hope that when they put me up really high up there in the sky that I don't freeze or fall off. So that could be another thing that kind of hurt, my application. But they basically said that they had somebody more qualified and, they wanted me to train the new person. And I kept asking them when my last day was, and they could never really give me a date. And, I wasn't sure what was up. But then today, as I was getting ready to leave work there, the boss, the person I report to, came by to see how I was doing, and I said, "Oh, I'm doing good." And then I asked him, I said, "Do you have an official last day for me? Like, when is my last day here?" That way I can tell the temp agency so they can line me up for a new job. I need to know my last day, because I need to try to book. How it works at the temp agency, they typically try to get me a job 2 weeks in advance, or sometimes short notice is like 1 week. And that way I can plan out if I want to do that job and where it is, and whether or not I can afford to do it, whether or not I want to do it. That's how it works. So they get a request order, and then they put it out to the employees, the temps, and we kind of choose which ones we want, if we want to do it, or if we're available, or whatever. So I asked him, and he said, well, they don't have an official date yet, but what they'll do is they'll plan to keep me till the end of the month. So I thought they were only keep me till Monday, and then let me go after I train the new person, because it shouldn't take that long to train somebody how to clean. But he said that the reason it's taking so long is they're trying to figure out what to do, because I think my gut feeling, like I said on the live broadcast the other night, and because people were freaking out about me losing my job, which I did lose, and I still have lost, kind of. People were concerned, and even Tom stepped up to try to cover me, to buy me time to get myself reset and situated, because we're like at that edge of I just need to make it over this hump. If I can stabilize long enough, I'll be okay. I won't be like I am, like I've been for the last 10 years, especially these last 3 years, where you see me in the van living on the streets or in the compound or whatever. But he and I started talking, and he said, look, they would like to try to keep me if they could, but they're not sure how long. They know this. Things are going to be picking up over this next year. Like right now, it's kind of slow. We just finished launching 3 rockets, 3 spaceships this month, or over the last couple of weeks. And now it's like a lull. It's like a low period where, it's not busy. So they're going to train the new guy because he has clearance. I don't. And then they said it's going to go crazy again over this soon. It's going to pick up again and go crazy, because next year there's going to be a lot of rocket launches. So he asked me if I would be interested in a part-time position. I was like, well, what would the position be? And it essentially is the same position I'm in right now. So, and for about the same amount of time, which is about 20 to 30 hours a week, roughly. Same schedule, same work, except I'd be working for them. I said, yeah, I'd be interested if how long would that job last? He said, pretty much a year, because they know they're going to be busy a year, so they're going to need that help. And I think instead of having the new guy do everything, they were going to split the job up into 2 parts. The security part, and then the other part, which would be my part. So that would allow me to keep working and doing what I'm doing, and essentially keep the same schedule. And I would pretty much be working for them. Now, I don't know if there's any benefits, because it would be part-time. I'd have to ask them about it. Maybe see if they can't squeeze me in. The whole big reason for wanting a job like this is 2 reasons. One is I'm trying to get into a business, a job, where I can get onto a dental plan. Yeah, so we can finally fix this situation. A phone call trying to come in while I'm recording here. But I'm trying to get into a job where I can qualify for medical and dental and whatnot, so I can get insurance. And that'll help offset the cost of fixing this messed up teeth that I've been living with for 10 years. Well, more like 8 years, 6 years, 8 years. So I'll ask them about that if I do get hired. Even without that, though, I'll take the job, but it would be nice if they gave me dental. You know, I kind of asked them if they could put me on dental so I can fix my teeth. Because that to me is a big thing. You know, you can only do so much with super glue. I don't know yet if I can get the job or not. And then he was like, well, and then the other issue is this. They can't just hire me outright, see. I'm actually an employee of the temp agency, so they have to negotiate with the temp agency. And I think the temp agency is going to require a fee or something. I don't know, it's going to be expensive. So that's another thing that kind of hurts hiring me is hiring me, I can't get the clearance. I'm afraid of heights. And they have to pay additional money to the temp agency, potentially. I don't know what the agreement that they had was with the temp agency. So, you know, different companies have different agreements. So, my only agreement with the temp agency is, you know, I work for them and I show up when they assign me and I go to work. And that's what I do. So, the space agency, the temp agency, are going to have to negotiate and work it out. And then hopefully everything can go through smoothly and then they can hire me if that is in the budget and if corporate allows that to happen. Because I suspect that the local people, you know, they had me there for 3 months. They like me. You know, I do a good job of cleaning. I'm you know, fairly thorough. I care, you know, and I'm impressed with the people who work there. I mean, it's like I'm actually dealing with real rocket people, rocket scientists, engineers, you know. I'm dealing with people who are involved in the space program. They're putting rockets up, you know. They're doing really amazing things. And little did I know in my life that I would actually be involved in the space program. So even if I don't get that job, the fact that I've been here for the last 3 months and have been involved in, I think, 4 different launches, I can honestly say, yeah, I participated in the space program. I was part of it, you know. I wasn't the designer, I wasn't the astronaut, I wasn't an engineer, but I was one of the people that helped to make it possible. I was one of the people that worked on it to make it go up into space. So, if they hire me, that'll be good, and then I will probably try to relocate closer to the location because it's going to be for at least 1 year, if not longer. Me, I don't really need it longer, although I might want it longer. I don't know. It just depends on what happens, you know. I'm not one of those people who try to plan too far ahead because the last time I planned really far ahead was more than 10 years ago when I had my whole life mapped out, and we know how that turned out. You know, God is kind of funny in the sense that you have the best laid, like the best laid plans of mice and men. And, you know, God comes along and says, Denoy, I've got a special project for you. And here we are. So, you know, you never really know what the future holds. You got to live day by day because you don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know what's going to happen next. I know some people claim to know what's going to happen next. They know what's going to happen next in their life, and they even claim to know what's going to happen next in my life. But I myself, I don't know. I go with the flow. So right now, I'm still officially, as far as I know, unless they extend it, probably going to be done working there at the end of this month. But there is a possibility, if they can work it out with the temp agency, that I could end up coming back. This time, not as a temp, but as a part-time employee. And, you know, that really says something about those people. They really are fighting to try to pull me there as part of their company, instead of just letting me go. You know, they want me there, and that makes me feel, I guess, feel welcome and feel like a part of their family. You know, the fact that they're fighting to try to get me in somehow, despite the obstacles. And that's something that really is kind of an important lesson about life, you know, and things in general. And something that I've learned over my lifetime is that nothing's really impossible if you want it bad enough and the people involved want it bad enough, because I've seen it happen in the past, and maybe I'll talk about that on the Pay It Forward channel. I'm going to do a lot of talking on there, you know, about life lessons and things like that. I'll be sharing my 2 cents of wisdom there on certain topics, but also opening up the forum, the channel, for others to share their wisdom in the chats, or even you know, submit videos for me to upload to the channel. And we'll talk about that on there, because the channel is different than normal YouTube. It really will be something with subscribing to and checking in and becoming a part of, because I think it's going to be something great. I think it's going to be something that could change the world. Maybe not the entire world, maybe just the world for each of us that are on that channel, that are participating and actually actively involved in it and owning it and owning what happens there. So make sure you subscribe to the Pay It Forward channel if you haven't already done so. I am planning on doing a live broadcast tonight, you know, this Friday here, which is the 16th, at about 5 p.m. Florida time, which is Eastern time. So with me saying that, I guess I need to try to upload this video right now, right when I finish recording. So I'll probably use my data to try to upload this video. Hopefully I don't max out my data and then can't do a live broadcast. But the plan will be to upload this video, let you guys know what happened right now. It's almost a live update for you on the job situation. Timothy, if you're wondering if I still need your help, yep, I still do. Because I still don't know what's going to happen next, and it gives me that just peace of mind. But what's going to happen is, if they end up hiring me, there might be a month of a skip. And I was planning on doing my photography business. I was going to revive that, and I may still try to revive it. But I also was trying to line up jobs with the temp agency, and that's how this whole situation with me finding out that they're trying to hire me. You know, they're trying to make a position for me. They're splitting the job to try to keep me there. So if it works out, I'll have a new home. It's not permanent. He told me it's only going to be for about 1 year. It could extend if more stuff happens, because, you know, they don't know the future either. They only know, I guess they know 1 year in advance. They know it's going to be crazy next year. It's going to be busy. A lot of rockets. I think, you know, because I don't know if you know, the United States is trying to send man back to the moon. Yeah, we're trying to get a moon base. Yeah, a real moon base. So that's been the big push right now for outer space. Is the United States is becoming what it was before, you know, a leader in space exploration. Although a lot of what we're doing now, we're doing joint ventures with other countries, but we're trying to get man back onto the moon to set up a permanent